Okay, so there have been some questions and confusions about this IEP assignment. So let me try reviewing again what it is I'm trying to get you to do here. So as a part of this assignment, I want you to be able to show me that you know the knowledge of the legal and ethical requirements in American education. So there's certain terminology that you need to be familiar with, and that background is critical. And then I want you to be looking at factors that influence learning. And so in the IEP, you're going to be able to see the different factors that are involved in developing an education program for a student with special needs. Um, and then learn how to effectively communicate, um, and how everything is communicated with peers and school officials in regards to a child with special needs. So the first part of the assignment is to just talk about how many members are on IEP committee, who is on it, why is an IEP meeting important, and what are some of the specifics that are involved that make this document legal. So if you're looking at the IEP here, on the first page, it already talks about team members that are required to be there. Okay, required members, and then you've got additional members here. So you're able to um, state who has to be present at the meeting and who are additional members to have there and why, think about why those people are important there. Is there enough representation for that child? Are parents required to be there? Are they present? Is the child required to be there? So those are all important aspects of being able to provide the support needed for a child with special needs. The next part is looking at the various terminology. And so not only on this document are the terms attached, but the definitions as well. So IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which was the law that ensures that children with disabilities will have a right to a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. And this law impacts education today, so that all kids have the ability to have equal opportunities to be educated, and so that they have the support they needed in order to do so. We have an IEP, which is the Individualized Education Program or Education Program, and that one specifically is for what the community does, all the different shareholders involved, in order to get that child what they need. And it is a very specific plan. And if you look here, you can see all the details that are involved in this. You've got how they did on tests, what the report card grades are, other data here, um, the IEP goals, specific goals that are set for that particular student. What are their strengths? You can see all these different aspects are included on here, so you get a holistic picture of the student. Um, and then here you've got description of academic development and functional needs. So what does that child need? And then we've got um, what are some special factors that need to be considered for that child? Does the child need assistive technology? Any assistive technology devices? So here they have yes. And then you have to describe what kind of technology is needed. Um, and they do so down here, that they need technology to help in reading, in writing and spelling, and organization and time management. So those are things, that's just an example of something listed in their IEP. Transition service plan is for when the child is entering into the ninth grade, or by when they've turned 16. So that's something that's a part of all IEPs, and they really try to get the students to transition successfully into a new learning environment. There are specific annual goals on an IEP. That's what this is showing. And those goals have to be SMART goals. They have to be something that's measurable, that the teacher can say that yes, the students has reached this particular goal, because we set it at this percentage and that's what they received, or they received above that, or they received below that, whatever it may be. Okay, so what are you doing? The part 3 is asking you to take these terms, admission, review, and dismissal, ARD. Okay, the ARD meetings are the meetings that are set up in order to develop one of these IEPs. Least restrictive environment. What is the least restrictive environment? Universal design for learning. What is UDL? Why is that important? To design a curriculum that can not just help the student that is has a special need, but it helps all students. RTI, what is response to intervention? And these are some of the terms you've learned in the first few chapters alone. We're not going to worry about this culturally responsive lesson plan at this moment. So you're taking each one of these and you're going to find something on this IEP that you can use to elaborate on what this term is. Okay. So just a simple example, one was already provided to you on this, and that was right here. An example of the term regular education relates to least restrictive environment, because when you're in a least restrictive environment, you are a student in the regular education curriculum. So this area right here on the IEP relates to least restrictive environment. Okay, and the sentences here elaborate on how they're related. Okay, the student is placed in a regular mainstream classroom in language arts, science, and social studies. He or she is working alongside mainstreamed peers who do not have an IEP. Working with mainstream students can positively influence her work habits and help her learn the content, perhaps more readily with collaborative group work and peers who could assist her with the assignment. So this is connecting the LRE to regular education and elaborating as to why that's important and how that's going to help that particular child. For IDEA, I mean, an IEP is a requirement of IDEA. Okay, that is part of the law. So you can pick anything and tie it into, describe how it relates to the definition of IDEA, and then tie it in and elaborate a little bit more as to why it's important. I don't want to give any more examples because I want you to be able to locate them on the IEP yourselves. Okay, so I mean, for an IEP, you can talk about the IEP goals, and that there are specific set annual goals that are part of an IEP that have to be developed, and then they are frequently checked, okay, for progress monitoring. It's called frequent progress monitoring, and that's how you know whether a child is progressing or not. And you can talk about that for this term. I mean, really, you can pick anything on here. You just got to be able to connect it to what that definition is, okay? I hope that helps a little bit more. If you have more questions, you can post on the WhatsApp group or ask each other. Maybe you can get more clarification, and maybe somebody else can give a bit more of a description. I am available on Monday and Tuesday on campus for office hours. If you want me to reach out to you, let me know and give me a number so that I can contact you. Thank you.